historic.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, is that something that you're trying to tell yourself, like, I don't have to score 21 points a game or whatever?
Oh, I'm not saying I don't have to score.
Right.
I think score is my forte, but nah, just more so of just like not putting into perspective like I have to go break these records. If I don't, then like this is an unsuccessful year. No, like I'm not saying that at all. More so of like I'm gonna have to score. I know what's gonna be coming. I know people are gonna be targeting me, but Coach Davis always expresses never run from it, run towards it, and I've embraced that, and I'm confident in doing that. So if I have the same year as last year, so be it. I'll be happy with that. But kind of just my overall game progressing the way I wanted to progress, and I know how I can do it. That's like my overall goal for this upcoming year.
So how do you kind of handle the fact that, as you said, everyone's going to be targeting you this year defensively? I mean, how do you kind of keep it going, knowing that the scouting report is going to be designed to try to stop you?
Kind of just picking my poison, taking it what the defense gives me. Obviously, I know like there's a lot of teams that are going to be playing defensive coverages different against me, so it's kind of just this will be a true test into my playmaking skills. We have a lot of score wings and guards that's able to score at will this year, and it kind of just makes me able to kind of just put myself in the right position, but at the same time put my trust in my teammates as well.
RJ, how would you say this year's team differs from previous years, and what would you say the biggest strengths are for this team?
Yeah, I mean, this team is different in terms of our athleticism. This is probably the most athletic team I ever played with at UNC. So, and obviously Carolina's known for our fast pace, but I think it's going to be faster in terms of we always had a post presence in previous years, but this year is going to be a little bit more spread out. So I think our strengths for this year is going to kind of just being able to play up-tempo, use our athletic abilities to get up and down and finish at the rim. But overall confidence, I think the overall confidence to this team has the potential to do a lot of great things. So that's what we're relying on.
You spoke before about your relationship with Coach Davis. And you're in your fifth year. Have you sat and thought about maybe what your presence on the team can do for his legacy as a coach, and what maybe he can talk to players about in the future about what they can accomplish at Carolina based off of your example?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I really put that into perspective and really thought about that. But I think it's just a true testament to me kind of just trusting Coach Davis in our relationship, because he's always put me in great positions to be who I am. And that started from the day he recruited me to my fifth year now in college. And when you have a coach like that that believes in you, has the ultimate confidence in you, is kind of just go out there to play your game and not just have any worries about looking over your shoulder to see if you're getting subbed out. It allows you to do great things, and so I really do appreciate Coach Davis for allowing me to do that. And that speaks to the type of coach he is, but the type of person he is.
You mentioned pace. Obviously, you have to get stops to run. Who has stood out on the defensive end that you've seen so far in fall camp?
Yeah, I mean, Seth Trimble. I mean, I think he's been phenomenal all off season, and just in terms of his ability to be defensively. Like, I think he showed glimpses of that last year. But we know he could be one of, but not if, the best defender in the country. I mean, me and him have battles every day in practice, kind of just going at it. So I make him better, he makes me better. And Seth has been extremely good in practice on the defensive end. But then also Drake Powell, just with his length, his athleticism, his anticipation to get into the passing lanes. So those real two people have really been stuck out with me for defensively, yeah.
Seth said you guys have competed so hard that occasionally you've kind of gotten some scraps.
Yeah.
Can you take us through that, what that's like?
Yeah, I think this is like a big brother, little brother connection we have. So there's been times where, I'll get a stop on Seth, or Steph will get a stop on me, or I'll score on him. It'll just be constant back and forth. But that just speaks to our relationship, our brotherhood, and it makes us better at the end of the day. When there's a saying that iron sharpens iron, and by doing that, it kind of makes the games easier, especially when you have a phenomenal defender like Seth, guarding you full practice, 94 feet, getting into the passing lanes, getting over screens. It allows me to be a better player, be a better scorer, be a better playmaker, and vice versa. So, and I think Stinks is like our competitive edge. Competing sometimes just we get at it and we just get into each other's heads. So that just speaks on just how bad we want to win as a team, but overall just make each other better.
What's on your checklist for this year?
It seems like it shouldn't be, but I mean, there's a lot in terms of winning a national championship. My main goal for real is like be win a national championship, but also just be a better leader, a better leader like on and off the court, vocally, and just because I'm now the older guy, I'm now a veteran, and there's a lot of younger guys and inexperienced. So kind of just taking them under my wing, showing them the Carolina way, but at the same time that understand that what's at stake, and each game matters. We're in University of North Carolina. Everyone's going to throw their best shot at us. So kind of just getting them to have that mindset to play 110% every game.
There are some statistical achievements historically that you can achieve this year. Armando was pretty open about wanting those marks. How do you process scoring and some of the other spots that you can end up historically in this program at the end of your career?
Yeah, I don't really try to obviously I know like what's at stake in terms of being the scoring record, but I don't want to put my main focus on like I have to be UNC's all-time scoring. That's just really not my main focus, not my key emphasis on this year. Yes, obviously it'd be great if I get it, but really just taking it one step at a time, and being able to be the leader, being able to be the player that I know I could be, and kind of just overall improve my game in all aspects.
So if it happens, it's a byproduct of the season.
If it happens, it happens. You guys will see me smiling from ear to ear.
Tyler will be too, right?
A little. I don't think so.
Arjun, you've been in front of a lot of different teams. All of them are kind of different in their own ways. How is this particular team different from the ones from the past? And what is it about this team that you can say, look, I may not be able to guarantee much, but one thing I can guarantee about this team is that we will be this. You will see this. What is that this?
Well, I mean, we will compete and we will be a gritty team. I think one thing that's so different about this team is our athleticism and the talent. Like the talent, like from the backcourt to the front court, is remarkable. You have 2 5-stars, 2 NBA draft prospects, maybe even 4 with Seth and Elliott. So I mean, it's just in terms of the talent, the potential that this team has is through the roof. And I think once we realize that and once we actually put that into perspective, we'll be more than fine.
OJ, Armando and Harrison accounted for a lot of points and rebounds last season. Where are those inside points and rebounds going to come from this season?
I think it's going to be a collective team effort from everybody, from the guards to the bigs. Obviously, having Mondo, his post presence and his rebounding skills was one-on-one, as Coach Davis describes it, and that's hard to replace. But it allows other guys to step up. It allows other guys to show their full potential. But it's going to be a full team effort, to box out and to get those rebounds so we can go have fun on the offensive end.
Who have you seen that's impressed you in practice in the front court?
Jayla Washington and Jayla Winters have been extremely great, just in terms of their presence on both ends of the floor. They're obviously having Mondo last year on the defensive, like as the anchor. And I think Jay Wash and Jay Witt and Vin have really taken a big step in terms of using their voice, being a presence under the rim on both ends of the floor. So I've been really impressed by their play as far.
RJ, every year from freshman, sophomore, junior, the whole way you've improved your scoring average, and some of it has jumped up quite a bit.
Yeah.
From junior to last year, like 5 points per game.
Yeah.
Does that just speak to what you address in the offseason individually, the work you put into taking your game where you want it to go the next coming season? I mean, is that a product of the work?
Yeah, I think one thing about me is I think I improve in every aspect of my game, even just from high school. It's always been a huge jump just because I put the work into it. And when you do that, you trust your work and you trust your confidence, you trust your beliefs of what you're able to do because, that's what you rely on in the off season. And I think, showing that through my past few years from sophomore now to senior, you can see those jumps, you can see those progressions. Because that's what I pride myself on. Not taking a day off, not, taking a step back, holding myself accountable whenever I feel like I'm not playing to my best of my abilities. Because I know I'm better than that. I know my capabilities. So kind of just improve every year and improve my strengths, but also my weaknesses.
Just talking about Drake, has anything kind of surprised you about him or anything that he's done in the last couple of months?
Yeah, I mean, he's crazy. Like, I never seen, I'm like, bro, like, can I see your, like, let me just see your wingspan. Just because, like, his length and ability to get into the passing lanes is, like, I haven't seen that as a freshman. There was, like, one play in practice where, I had scored the layup, and then they tried to pitch the ball ahead, but obviously Drake was in the pass lane, so they tried to throw it over his head, and, like, he caught it, like, as he was, like, Randy Moss. And I'm like, I've never seen that. That's, like remarkable. So he's been great. He's been learning. He learns things on the fly. If he makes one mistake, he won't make it again. So that's just that type of player Drake is.
I didn't have a Randy Moss reference on the bingo card today.
Hey, RJ, you got a birthday coming up.
Yeah.
No games on that day. You got any plans?
So my birthday's on a Monday. I got class that night, so I'm a little bit mad about that. So I don't know. Hopefully I have some family friends come that weekend. I think we have fall break, so maybe I get some time to chill with them.
RJ, inside, the coach said this is a quieter team.
Yeah.
What is your perspective on his meaning behind this being a quieter team?
Yeah, I think we're just still finding our personalities. Last year we had a lot of personalities. Like, you had Harrison, a goofball, Cormac. You never know with him, and Amando being a troll. So, and then you had Paxton as well. Like, there's a lot of personalities that was off the court, but it flowed on the court. And I think this year everyone's still finding their voice, as Coach Davis has said. So it's a little bit quieter, just in terms of not being as loud. But I think everyone's loud, like, in their individual way. We just have to put that together as a collective group. Yeah.
Seth said he feels like part of it is because so many guys have never played in a Carolina uniform and they don't know what it's like to play in front of 22,000 people.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of prepare them for that?
Yeah. I think it's just the main thing is to practice how you play. I've always been a big believer in that, and kind of just instilling that confidence in them that, like, you guys have the capabilities, you guys have the potential to be really great, but you always have to have the mindset that, like, we have a target on our backs just from an expectation just by playing here at the University of North Carolina. So understanding that and understanding, like, this is a big year and we have some really great games coming up, and putting that into perspective. And the practices always should be harder than the games. So making sure they understand that and are competing at the all-time high.
Is it weird for you to be instilling confidence in other people when for so long people have been kind of giving it to you as the younger guy?
Yeah, it's really weird. But I've embraced it. I see it as a challenge, but I'm molding myself into a leader, into finding comfort in uncomfortable situations and positions. Because obviously, like, I always led by example. But this year is more about vocally and making sure that guys are on the right page, we're on the same page as a group, and kind of just making sure that they're good, because everyone's going to have their ups and downs from a mental perspective, and even sometimes on the court. So just making sure that everyone's good, but doing it my way, not really try to do it anyone else's way.
What's been your favorite part about that, kind of being a vocal leader, maybe trying to get to know your teammates on a different level?
Yeah, I mean, I think it allows you to get to know your teammates a little bit more, and it allows me to be uncomfortable a little bit, because usually, like, for me, it's like I'll see things, but I never really speak up on it. And I think when you have guys like last year who were older, they were kind of just taking that role a little bit, but now it's more so me putting myself in that position and kind of pushing myself to do it. And I found joy in that a little bit. Sometimes it's a little bit awkward because I'm not really used to it, but I think it's good for me and good for this team.
RJ, you've talked a lot about your legacy. Ideally, like, how do you want to be remembered by your teammates and the community?
Just overall, just,
RJ, thank you.
no problem. Someone that has kind of just been a great teammate, been a great leader for them, and overall, just, like, my presence in the community. I think that goes a long way. It allows me to build relationships and bonds that, last forever. I still have my relationships from obviously players that have left or are now, like, in the NBA or overseas or whatnot. So kind of just understanding that and, kind of just fulfilling that.
And as you mentioned talking